In this tutorial, we'll be looking at the block friend program that's in Adventure 7. Before we get into the code though, let's have a look at what the program should do. I'm just going to run the program, and what we should see when we go into Minecraft is we've got a message from our block friend. Hello friend, he must be around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. And what the block friend does is follows you. And wherever you walk, the block friend will follow you. Now the block friend gets upset if you go too far away and tells you. And if you do wander off too far and your block friend is sad, you have to come back and give him a hug by standing next to him. And when you do, the block friend says thank you and starts following you again. Until, of course, you get too far away again and you have to go back and give him a hug. So let's see how the program works. I'm just going to stop the program running and go into the code. So the first thing we'll do is import the standard Minecraft modules, Minecraft and Block. We'll also be using the Minecraft Stuff module that was introduced in Adventure 7, as well as using Math and Time. Now the block friend works by looking at how far the player is away from the block friend. In order to do that, we will need a function called distance between 2 points, which when you pass it 2 points, point 1 and point 2, it uses some maths to calculate the distance between those 2 points, in this case the player and the block friend. We'll create a constant called toFarAway, which is the distance the block friend needs to be away from the player before he decides to stop following them and becomes sad. The first thing we'll do is create a connection to Minecraft and create the Minecraft Stuff objects. Now, depending on the block's mood, whether the block's happy or sad, he decides to do different things. To either follow the player, or to stop following the player and wait for him to come back and give the block friend a hug. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create a variable called block mood and we'll set it to happy. The first section of the code creates our block friend, and it does that by creating a variable called friend, which is the position of the block friend. It takes the player's position and adds 5 to the X position, so the block friend isn't standing on top of the player. Now, the block friend moves along the top of the world in Minecraft. It doesn't burrow through the ground or float in the sky, and it does that by using the function getHeight. When you call Minecraft.getHeight and give it an X coordinate and a Z coordinate, it returns you the height of the land as a Y coordinate that you can then, so in this case, set the friend's Y coordinate to be the height of the land. Next thing we'll do is actually create the block. So create the diamond block that will be our block friend. Post to the chat window and say hello. Now the block friend always moves towards a target, a target position, which is normally the player's position. Now we don't want the friend to move straight away, so we'll set the friend's target to be the friend's position, and we'll use the function .clone to copy the friend's position to this new variable called target. So we're going to loop forever, and the code is split into 2 parts. The first part is where the block friend decides what to do. Should it move towards the player, or should it stand still and wait for the player to come back and give it a hug? The second part of the code moves the block towards its target. So to work out what the block needs to do, first thing we need to do is find out where the player is. Then we use the function distance between points, passing it the player's position and the friend's position to get the distance back. Now we've got the distance between the player and the friend, the block friend can decide what it needs to do, and it does this based on its mood. So if it's happy, if the block friend's happy and the player isn't too far away, then it sets its target where it needs to move towards to be the position of the player. However, if the block is happy but suddenly the player is now too far away, the block's mood becomes sad. So we change the block's mood to sad. And if the block is sad, the block's then going to sit there waiting for the distance between the block friend and the player to be less than 1. So the player standing next to the block friend is giving him a hug. When the player does that, he becomes happy again, and will then start following the player. The next section of code moves the block towards its target. If a target is set in the rules above and the friend has not reached its target, the first thing it does is it finds all the blocks between the friend and the target. So where the friend is now and where it's going to be moving towards. And it does that by using the getLine function in Minecraft Drawing. Once it's got a list of all the blocks between the friend and the target, it then loops through those blocks, moving the block friend on one block at a time. So the first thing it does is it clears the old block by making it air. It then sets the friend's position to be the next block in between where it is and where it's going. It finds the height of the land at that position for the X and the Z, and it creates a new block for the block friend. It then waits for a short amount of time before clearing the block, finding the next position, finding the height, and recreating the block. And it does that for every block in between the friend and the target, normally the position of the player. Once it's moved through all the blocks in between itself and the target, it's then reached its target, so we set the target to be the position of the friend. The loop then continues, and we run our rules again, find out where the player is, what the distance is, and work out what we should be doing next. Should we be standing still, or should we be moving towards the target? And the program loops forever. So let's see that once more. Run module. Hello block friend. And every time I move off, the block friend is saying, how far is the player away? Get the blocks in between the block friend and the player, loop through each one of those blocks, moving the block on, one block at a time, until the distance between is too far. The block's mood becomes sad, and the block then waits and checks until the distance becomes less than 1. Once it does, block's moods change to happy, and it continues to find the distance between the block friend and the player.